got Mark here.
That's right, Judge, yes.
And Stephen, is that right?
Yes, Judge.
Now, Mark, Stephen, the two of you are great friends, who certainly were. Now, despite being friends, we're not in some sort of coffee morning, we're in court, so it's terribly important you don't interrupt each other and only speak to me when I ask you questions. Understood?
Understood.
Happy, Mark?
Yes.
Splendid. Now, Mark, you bring this case to court against your friend, Stephen, because you say, effectively, you've lent him money and he hasn't paid you back. And, frankly, it's rather a lot of money, totalling £1,600, correct?
That's right.
In reply, Stephen, I construe this on your behalf. You say, yes, you may theoretically owe him some money, maybe even in principle. But in law, he doesn't have a legally enforceable agreement. And what's more, he knew exactly how and when and why you were using the money he gave you, correct?
Correct.
So the terms of the loan were imprecise, right?
Yes.
And what's more, he knew, bearing in mind what you wanted to use this money for, that there was really no prospect of him getting the money back in the short term, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mark, when did you first become friends with Stephen?
It was around about 15 years ago. He was a tenant of mine, so we had a tenant-landlord relationship, but
You then became friends, correct?
Yeah, he left after about 5 years, but he owed me money then, but he actually kept in touch and paid me back.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very much to his credit. How much was owing on that occasion?
Oh, it was just a couple £100, something like that.
Right. Well, he nevertheless, at that stage, did the honourable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing, Stephen. What exactly is your current job?
Well, at the moment, I'm a painter, decorator, just trying to sort of make ends meet and save money.
Right. Now, where are you from? I detect a slight accent.
I'm from Newcastle, originally.
Well, there you are. I asked that question because this seems to me to be a mildly, a sort of a mild Billy Elliot situation. Is that right?
Yeah, I think
because
so.
Your training, in fact, is as not immediately obvious.
No.
A dancer and choreographer. Is that right?
I'm a dancer, yeah, I'm a dancer by trade.
But what do you mean by trade?
Well, it's who I am, it's what I've always wanted to do and sort of made it my...
Well, you say it's who you are and what you wanted to do. Yeah. People want to do all sorts of things.
Well,
it doesn't necessarily mean that they are capable of making a living at it. Did you train as a dancer?
Yes, I did. I trained as a dancer.
From what age?
Well, I was quite late, but I've always loved dancing.
Now, what's the ambition?
I trained in London, and I would like to get back down to London and become a dance teacher in London.
You want to become a dance teacher in London? What's wrong with teaching dance in Newcastle or wherever you are?
I couldn't really make a proper living out of it.
Wow, is there not much call for that sort of thing there?
Well, there is. I had a small company called Early Twirlers where I taught nursery children, going around in different nurseries, which was good fun. But unfortunately, due to the recession, after 4 years, it sort of piled down, so...
I see. It is, in fact, Billy Elliot. There wasn't even the 50p for the Early Twirlers.
No.
Well, here's an example of what you used to do. Let's have a quick look. What's that you're doing there? Is that homage to a tree pose?
It is. It is. It's just a stretch and a warm-up.
That's
it's
rather...
part of the warm-up.
Well, that's rather sweet. Now, Mark, you've known for a long time that this was this man's ambition. Mm-hmm. And because you're a businessman, you're very sensible, and you know that people have ambitions. That's fine. But if you're going to support them, there's a good chance they might not pay you back, right?
Perhaps.
You do. I know you do, because you've got things in writing. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, you say, and I need to get to the bottom of your relationship, really, before you decided to extend Stephen some credit. What sort of person is Stephen? Is he somebody that is honourable all the time? I'm going to pause whilst you think of an answer.
Judge. During our relationship, I've lent him money on various times. Obviously, he's trying with the dancing, but hasn't always got funds, but he's always paid me back. So I would say he's been honourable in that way.
For more Judge Rinder cases, click here. And if you've got a legal issue yourself, get in touch with us by clicking over here.